I can graph lines on the coordinate plane from slope-intercept form. Here's what you need to know. Slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals m times x plus b. Y is our output value, m is the slope of the line, x is the input value, and b is the y-intercept, or the location where the graph crosses the y-axis, the one that goes up and down. Here's an example. Y equals 3x minus 5. This graph is going to have a slope of positive 3, and we can write that as 3 over 1 because every whole number has a denominator of 1. And now it's really easy to pick out the rise over run, which is what we learned slope represents. It's the change in the up and down divided by the change in the left and right. This equation is going to have a y-intercept of negative 5 because we have a minus 5 at the end of our equation. That means the graph will cross the axis, the y-axis, at the point 0, negative 5. When x takes on a value of 0, and you could try that by putting in a 0 right here for x, you'll get y equals negative 5. The steps to graph from slope-intercept form are pretty simple. You're always going to start by plotting your y-intercept, the point 0, b, and just remember to carry the sign with b. So in this example, we would have the point 0, negative 5, because this minus sign gets carried with the b value. After you've plotted the y-intercept, you're going to start from that point and do your rise and run according to the slope of the line. If your slope is negative, you're either going to rise down or run to the left. Don't do both. If you do both, your slope will actually end up being positive because a negative divided by a negative is a positive value. So you get to choose. You can either make your rise negative by going down or make your run negative by going left. Once you've plotted that second point, you're going to connect the 2 points that you just did with a straight line and extend your line in both directions. Let's do an example. Graph y equals negative 2 times x plus 3 on the coordinate plane. I know this graph is going to have a slope of negative 2 because that's my coefficient of x. So if I write that as rise over run, I'm going to do negative 2 over 1. I'm choosing to make my rise, my numerator, negative. You can choose either the numerator or the denominator, but never both. I'm going to be moving down between points because I'm making my rise negative. This equation has a y-intercept of positive 3. That means that my graph will cross the y-axis at the point 0, positive 3. So let's plot that point first. Your step number 1 is always to plot your y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 0, 3. That's the blue point that you see on the graph. Now starting from this point, I'm going to rise negative 2. Let's follow the cursor down 1, 2, and I'm going to run 1. So right here where I'm pointing, we're going to have another point pop up. Those are the 2 points that make this line. All you ever need is 2 points to make a straight line, and then just draw a line that passes through them and with arrows on both ends. Go ahead and pause and try this one. Hopefully you identified that your graph has a slope of positive 3 over 4. That means your rise is 3 and your run is 4. And your y-intercept is negative 6. So you're going to start your graph at the point 0, negative 6. That's the blue point that you see. And now let's rise 3 from this point, 1, 2, 3, and run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then connect the 2 points that you plotted. If you want more on this topic, be sure to check out the Learning Target spreadsheet for additional resources, videos, and practice.